Hello, welcome to the Self-Learning Podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Unit 10, Power Functional Perspective. And our topic is Talcott Parsons. Talcott Parsons translated a few works of Max Weber from German into English and made important contribution to the study of power and its function for society. Here, power is seen as a necessary condition of maintaining a society, enabling it to realize a few collective goals of a society. In a modern society, functions are differentiated and interrelated. The characteristics of a system are reproduced in subsystem. Polity is one of the subsystems. How it organized and works is stated briefly. Functional approach does not mean absence of conflicts. It in fact depicts the capacity of the system to deal with problems and solve them, return its resources. You will thus get an idea of how in a modern society of differentiated institutions, each institution fulfills the needs of the society. Each gets related to the others and derives strength from others. This is the essence of a functional approach. Power is seen through this perspective mainly through the manner in which famous sociologist Talcott Parsons clarifies issues keeping American democracy on the center of attention. Some examples will be given from India to make a few points clearer. Parsons has re-examined this position on two counts. First, zero sum can happen as a special case. Generally, however, we come across cases where the gains and losses do not cancel out. A may use 4 commands over B, B follows them. Then on the future occasion it may happen that B gets his will carried out by A. In our daily life we come across such situation when a son's will has to be carried out by the father or an officer has to agree with the subordinate clerk's opinion. In village life, relation among the patron and the client also follow such a course. In a Rajasthan village, a drummer beats the drum to mark the close of a wedding ceremony. He stands firm and does not beat the drum. This is a tactic to make the patron pay the dues respectfully. When the drummer is satisfied with the proper payment, he sounds the last post. A carpenter by tradition supplies a wooden board to decorate a welcome design. He keeps the entire proceedings halted until his rightful claim is accepted. Here the public performance or delay in performance adds to the power of the otherwise lowly placed artisan. Examples can be multiplied to cover many rituals in pilgrim centers and other secular situations. One of the reasons for continuation of the Jajmani relations has, among others, been the capacity of the artisan or the serving group to exercise his veto, as it were, on such chosen occasions where the roles of domination are reversed. We are using these examples from our society to clarify that the distribution of power that appears to have one direction from the high to the low can have the reverse flow as well. In such cases, power equation could be plus 4 unit for the patron and minus 4 with the serving group. Yet on 2 other occasions the latter may be wield the upper hand. Then the sum total of A's power could be plus 4 in favor and minus 2 in other case. Maybe a zero sum case, plus 4 minus 4 and minus 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. Yet if we add both, that would be plus 4 for A and plus 2 for B. This is described as non-zero sum power. Parsons asserts that non-zero sum power is a normal feature, and if it happens that the becomes 0, that is a special case covered under the more general non-zero sum case. The second aspect of power is that it be discussed not for individual cases but for the total social system. Its needs and part played by different agencies in that regard. It may be helpful here to recall the functional requisite of a system and use the paradigm. A stands for adaptation of the system to nature and environment. For the society as a whole, this function is performed by economy. G stands for goal attainment. This means that collective of the society are realized. The agency charged with this function is the polity. Here the polity acts on behalf of the society to realize the goals common to all. I stands for integration. Society has different units with their own interests, at times may be in conflict with each other. There is a conflict theory which suggests that the conflict is also a normal phenomena in society. The functional point of view does not deny this proposition, but it asserts that the social system, if it exists, has to have a mechanism or capacity to resolve these conflicts. The term conflicts resolution precisely states that process. In a modern society, the legal system tries to perform this role. The contesting parties put forward their claims and counterclaims, and the judiciary settles the cases. So long as this mode works, we say integration is maintained in the system. In the field of games and sports, there is intense competition. We have laws of the game and a referee or an umpire to give decisions that have to be accepted by both the parties. There may be a few disappointments, yet so long as the decision maker's role is duly accepted, we say that the system works or exists. L refers to latency or pattern maintenance. They define the basis for making laws in terms of or in consonance with the values of the society. There have been societies where birth or order of birth qualified a person to become the prince or chief. Such societies were based on the principle of ascription. Modern democratic society insists on achievements as the basis for gaining status. In the past, religion provided the justification for status allocation. In the new situation, secular values of achievement are considered valuable. In case of modern democracies, for example, the preamble to the Constitution of India specifies such values which are common knowledge. Yes, you guess correctly. These are liberty, equality, fraternity, etc. You can fill in the rest. The four aspects of a system are arranged in a specific order. Adaptation is related to boundary maintenance of the system, helps define the place of the system with regard to other systems and determine where it stands. Society has to define its relation with external environment, nature and its resources. Economy acts as an organized efforts to make use of those resources and energies. In this sense, economy is treated as a subsystem. Analysis of economy is a subsystem was undertaken by Neil J. Smeltzer in collaboration with Parsons. Smeltzer had studied economics in the UK, and when he joined Parsons at Harvard in the USA, economy began to be linked to social systems. The two great authors thus produced the major work Economy and Society. We may now summarize the point that make functional analysis possible. A social system exists and is capable of handling conflict within it. A social system consists of parts. The parts are active and through their activity contribute to the maintenance and continuation of the system. The system has a tenure and working longer than the life of the incumbent two positions and the lifespan of a generation. The method of studying parts of a system, their interrelations and contribution for the maintenance of the system is characterized as functional approach. The basis for functional analysis was laid by Spencer, Durkheim, Mallinson-Key and Radcliffe Brown. For more details, see earlier units in the Analyzing Modern Societies through this approach. We recall the names of Parsons and Merton, who are referred to by some analyses as neo-functionalist. Malinowski and Radcliffe Brown had basically studied the primitive societies. Durkheim had used this approach along with two others, the evolutionary and the explanatory, in terms of comparative approach. Merton had extended the idea of modern societies and coined phrases like function and dysfunction, manifest and latent functions, and related these to the study of anomie, in which he discussed the interrelations of goals and means. Parsons was associated with the study of social system. His main points have been briefly pointed in this unit in the AGIL paradigm and functional requisites of the system. This approach has been further extended to each part like economy, polity and religion by various writers. Power as a concept belongs to the area of polity. The functional analysis of power treats it at two levels. First, who has power over whom? The sum is zero. This is a traditional answer. In the other hand, the functional approach to power treats it as a non-zero sum, which as a special case may also be zero sum. That is, the zero sum is included in the more comprehensive case of non-zero sum. Second is power is generalized capacity of a system to realize its collective goals. This approach goes beyond the competitive aspect of power over someone else. Functional approach treats power to the system, not merely struggle for power within a system. The power of the system can grow and enable the system both to continue and strengthen itself. In this sense, again, the power of the system is not a zero-sum concept, but one that keeps on adding to its capacity to face collective challenges. Now let us wind up the session and take rest. Thank you very much for engaging yourself with the Self Learning Podcast.